I'm Melissa Paul, and this is Flex Up. When going solar, you want to make sure that you are well informed, and being aware of red flags should be on the top of your list. We spoke to a solar expert about how to identify these warnings so you can make the right decisions when it comes to your investment.
When we go up and we have a crew, which is all employees, we keep all our employees, we don't sub anything out. There again is a difference when you're asking about the consumers, what should they be looking for? They want to look for a company that has good reputation, that's done lots of installs so that they can talk to people. They should be able to go out and see the installs that have been done. They talk to the clients that have been installed so that they get a real sense of what kind of company they're dealing with. And you don't want a company that's going to sub it out to other people, because then there's no quality control whatsoever on how it's installed. So most of the people, they have, when they ask us the questions, how are you going to install? Are you going to ruin my roof? Or are you going to crack my tiles? Or all these kinds of things. What happens when wind? Is it going to blow off? That type of things. Solar is very much, in fact, we put up over 1,000 systems. We have over 24,000 panels up. And in those 24,000 panels, we've only lost 5 panels. And those 3 of them have been to golf balls. So we had to replace them. The other 2 we dropped off the roof. So we've never had a failure in any of the ones we had, and we've never had a leak in 1,000 installs. Well, part of that is because of our background, and any good quality company is going to understand how to install. And if it's done properly, you won't have leaks, you won't have any issues. And one of the examples that we use is that when the hurricanes came through Florida a few years back, the only thing left on a lot of the houses was where the solar panels were grouped together, called an array, and it was put into the roof itself. That was left. Everything else was blown apart. So it shows you the strength. It actually strengthens your roof. It doesn't weaken your roof.
If it's installed properly.
Yes, and there again, you want to look at what the installation process. What we have is what's called 3 flash, and we go through and we put in a mastic where the footprint goes into the penetration, then we put another little flashing on top of that, and then we have the tile we put back where a lot of companies don't, because we use the rigidity of the tile underneath there to make sure that the flashing doesn't bend and wind up leaking down the road. Then we put another flashing on top of that. Now, that costs us a lot of money compared to a lot of installs. I was out to one just the other day and looked over, for example, and we had 6 panels, which you have 2 rails for every set of panels, and we wound up with 6 panels with 6 rails. Right next door, and I won't mention the company, I know who installed it, but there were 7 rails for 25 panels. So what they had done was they had skipped every other panel with rails. So instead of 2, there's only 1 rail supporting each particular panel. Well, what happens over time is it sags, and they're going to have some problems with it. They also didn't use any flashing. They used what was called a tile hook, which is kind of like a flat bar, goes up underneath the tile and hooks on. It's acceptable, but the problem becomes, over years, it becomes a potential of a leak, and when the wind does blow, your array will have a tendency to lift because it's not permanently held down. So you'll have a bump, bump, bump when you have the wind blowing at night, let's say, for example, and you're going to hear it through your house. So there is a difference in the equipment that you put up. There's a difference in how you install it. Everybody has experienced that, I'm sure. You hear about the contractors, and they're always bad people, right? And why are they bad people? Because they get in, they get out, and they don't care about it. And they say, well, you have a guarantee until you see my headlights or my tail lights going. So that's what most people look at as a contractor. What we've been able to do is make sure that all our installs are exceptionally well done, so we don't have that issue, and that's why we get over 60% of our sales come through referrals from people we've installed from.